You are listening to Companban Talks. This podcast is dedicated to people who are interested in compensation and benefits and HR topics and challenges, and wish to understand what IT could offer in that regard. If you wish to educate yourself in these topics, see others people's experience and perspective, this podcast is for you. Enjoy listening. Hello, welcome to the episode 2 of Companban Talks. Today I'm with Magda.
Hello.
Hi Magda, and we're going to talk about why CNB processes typically need cleaning up. So we have almost November, and November is typically a hot period for Companban departments and for Companban managers. This is when comp reviews usually start. And so right now it's a time where the processes are checked and are actually going live and people start using it. And we're going to talk about how to make it as effortless and painless as possible and how to clean it up if possible. Magda, would you like to start?
Sure. So I'm a Companban consultant. I spend a lot of time working in companies and running such processes, conducting such processes. Now I support my clients designing and implementing processes, and it's very important always for me to make the process user-friendly and smooth. So of course, cleaning is an important part of it. Companban requires a lot of cleaning, especially data cleaning, like every area which process a lot of data, but also on the level of processes. We need to be adjusted to business goals, to market conditions, and then and therefore we should review our processes on a regular basis. Mm-hmm. I think the problem is not if we do that, because of course if we don't, it is a problem. But when we do that, the problem is the approach. Often is the approach, like focusing on one single part of remuneration package. For example, variable pay programs, review of variable pay programs without reviewing the package as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So okay. So you think that it's better to focus on one of the components, not at all of them at once, and clean it up one by one?
Clean one by one, but we should have in mind the whole picture. It's very important because all the processes are connected to each other and interact with each other. And if we don't invest our time for good design upfront, the process won't run smoothly. We can be sure of that. We will produce a lot of mess. We will produce a lot of questions, doubts, and we will be forced to fight that instead of create good policies.
Mm-hmm. So I think like that because it goes in waves. The CNB processes, if you agree with me. So typically, like periods from March till October, it's pretty calm. People are pretty relaxed. There's not that much happening. It's not that nothing happens because still budgeting needs to be done and reporting to the financials and to the boards. But it's more like a relaxed period, and then November hits in, and then you have all the processes typically trigger. So the comp reviews, the bonuses, the total remuneration statements, and all this starts happening, and it will actually continue till March. And then my point is like, if you prepared for this properly, then it will be fine this year. But if you didn't think about it in the summer or earlier, then things are not going to go smooth, and probably it will require a lot of manual actions and manual adjustments and a lot of stress. So how to prepare for this hot period or for this intensive period? So that's my one question. And second question, if you didn't prepare, what you can do now to make it better?
So if you are totally unprepared, it will be really hard.
There's nothing you can do.
It's a really intensive cycle, as you said. But I think good preparation upfront is a key. Internal data consistency. Of course, this is not a good moment to introduce any new solutions when you are in the middle of the cycle. So you should do such things upfront. Of course, when you design your system, you need to think about it. Maybe this is not a good time to think, what can I do this year? If you have exactly the same situation every year, you should design this again from scratch, and having this long-term perspective, and having this understanding of the processes working together.
So if you didn't prepare for this compound, it's probably too late. You need to survive this compound with
Yes.
what you have. And probably you should start thinking already about the next one, how to make your life better, easier, like a process is more automated, more robust next year, not this year, because this year seems already too late.
Yes, unfortunately, I think so, because you are so usually, if you are sitting in component department, you're probably crazy busy right now. So this is not a good moment to add anything on the top. But going forward, you should think how you should clean the processes, what works, what doesn't work, evaluate this, talk to managers, educate managers, manage the expectations of managers and employees as well. And
So I don't know if you will agree with me or not, but I think I would risk a statement that everybody has some kind of a system in place in CNB, unless the company is really small. But if it's like larger, then you have to have something. You have to have either like modern sophisticated IT solution, or at least some kind of spreadsheets, Excel's, in-house solution, whatever it is. I think it is related to IT and computers. I don't think anyone does it on a paper anymore. So my point is, the system can work better or worse depending how well you prepared for this compound, and if it's cluttered or not, or if it's like clean. Like I had this experience very recently that I was at the customers, and they managed to clutter their system because they were introducing a lot of random things done randomly, requested by whoever shouted the most. And then I would say that's a perfect way to create a mess in the system, because then cleaning it up, because IT can be very complex. So when you have something like this, it's not good. Probably you need something better for the next year.
Yes, definitely. And all the managers shouting for changes, updates, and so on should be aware of all the restrictions you have. And those restrictions comes from your policy, which has one logic behind. If you educate your managers, you won't have people insisting on you change this part of the process, change this part of calculation because my team doesn't like it. They are then aware that there is a good rationale behind that, why this process should look like this. And of course, everyone has systems supporting the process, or at least Excel. But it's very important to make those systems talk to each other, and combining the data into one logical, clean bunch of the data.
I think we can put aside what type of system it is, or if it's like Excels, then I guess in large organization it will be many Excels and multiple related spreadsheets, and there'll be people accessing it from all over the ends, and like many people have access, many people will be able to make changes. It can be very easy to break it. The better system you have, the more close it is, and better like managed from the CNB perspective, at least from my perspective, then it is easier to have a good compound. like for me, the comp and ben department should have a little bit of a like product mentality. Product meaning, you should have someone there who cares how the systems look for the coming year, if they do what they're supposed to, if they didn't, if you didn't introduce changes that might ruin something or might not work, or if you don't introduce last minute changes, or it can be very complex. So I think this product mentality helps. Product owner mentality helps, because then you have someone there who cares and who thinks how things will work this year and in the next year. So you have like this longer strategic perspective rather than just surviving the next comp round, which I think is often the case, just to survive.
Yes, definitely, and it saves a lot of time and money as well, because you maintain the system in a good shape. Of course, we are here for a business to support business, but in general, we need to change a mindset from operational to strategic thinking, long-term thinking.
Yes.
If we purchase a system, we should care about it, adjust it in a reasonable manner to the processes. Look on the organization as a whole, if how it works for other processes or other parts of organization, implementing any change, definitely. And yeah, maybe comp and ben was never very much exposed in the company. That's why we often don't have this visibility and this force to say, I'm the owner of the system, I'm the owner of this process, and trust me, I know why. Let me explain you why the things are set up this way, right? But
or you can't have those reports, for example, because we could introduce them, but it would disturb other parts of the systems, or it would be too much of a change, or this is like separate system we have to have. So we might better be off if we focus on actually delivering let's say a comp round or like comp review as it is now, and we might add it later, but later means after March, not now. Because I often come across like requests that things needs to change very close to the go live date or to the actual process start date, and that can be very stressful for everyone. And then as a customer, if you or like a company, if you agree to this, then there's a lot of risk.
Yeah, so
nobody's.
I also went through that, so I know the
nobody's going to ask you like, hey, why this didn't work? Like you'll say, but I introduced the changes that you asked for. Like they won't remember about it. Like if things like how we say it in when we implement in IT, it's like at the end of the day, it matters if the system went live and it did what it's supposed to do or not. Like there's
never know.
There's two ways, right? It could either work or not, and really nobody's going to ask like if those two special reports were introduced or not. People will ask if you were able to deliver your comp round, your comp review this year, and it was without any major incident.
And this is not a process when you, for example, submit your vacation form or something like this. This is about your money. So if you see discrepancies, you become anxious, and of course you are going to escalate it to comp and ben manager, and this is natural. Yeah.
So it's also a lot of stress, Magda, I think, right?
Yes, managing questions. Yes, and. People are not trained. Managers, for example, are not able to answer questions because they are not fully trained and they don't know what to expect. So this is very, very bad idea, for sure, and really huge amount of work, additional work for comp and ben manager.
Yeah, so I would risk also a statement that at comp and ben people spend long nights at work during this this time of the year in the comp rounds. And like you once told me that you spend a night at work working on
Unfortunately.
on triggering of a process, right?
Yes. So if you are if you have to go live on the same date when your process go live and the system is not tested, or you are fighting with 6 system with different standards of the data, it can be very challenging, of course, and not always work, but it must work because people trust you. They trust that their money are in good hands, and of course this is your responsibility to make it work. So yeah, it may happen.
So people expect they will come the next day, everything will work out, and it has to be this way.
Definitely, yes. And of course, everyone are very eager to get this pay increase, and managers are very eager to start this process.
And everything is communicated upfront, right? So it's like
the date, yes, when the system will be available, and forms in the system will be available.
Yeah, so it's the dates are set. It's just a matter of delivering now. So it's not easy from this perspective. And then, why is it important to have it? Like we also spoke about challenges that CNB has. Like they need to report to the board. They need to report the financials. They have managers' expectations that they need to meet, like various stakeholders, and they in the middle of it. So I think like having a good preparation upfront and will reduce the stress, and also one another thing that's important in this whole picture is the data and data quality that you have in the systems, like depending on how many systems you have, because as you mentioned, sometimes CNB has one system per each type of compensation. So you might have one for variable pay,
quite often,
and then those need to talk to each other, right?
Yes. And that's why you have this Excel just to combine all the data sources you've got. So the system should work for you, but in fact, you just export the data. We store the data and export the data to work on them in Excel or Power BI. So it shouldn't be like this. But this is the effect of this messy implementation of the systems.
What else is important? Like I think so. Having a like prepared system upfront, like clean approach to it, not introducing last minute changes, introducing changes properly in advance, actually testing your system, whatever it is, before the run starts. It will all help you with your system. And we also said that right now it's not a good idea to rush anything. It's better to survive and think ahead of the future and think about the next year. So whatever your system is now, you need to live with it.
When you think about any implementation, you should think about your comp and ben policy as a whole, and prepare the system which will respond to your needs more.
Okay. And what will it give you? When, let's say, okay, this comp round, I do the best I can, and then let's say I have this beautiful, or I clean up my system or have a new one for the coming year. What will it bring? What benefits this system will have? I think like obvious one for me is like less stress and smoother operations. So people will be able to easily log in to do whatever they need to do, enter data, review their subordinates, enter the pay raises within the budgets. But that's not all. Operations is not everything, I think.
Definitely. Reporting is also very important. So good access to quality data, it's a key. during the process and after the process, and also for planning for the next year as well. Then you have better control on cost management. This is not only a salary review. You should have this control all the time, and good system will allow you to see all the elements of your remuneration package and combine the information as a total. Of course, what else?
Yeah, I think in the end, like when the process is finished, you need to report it to the board. You need to report it to the top executives. You need to send your numbers to financials, to accounting. You need to send your numbers to payroll. You need to provide most of the times like total remuneration statements to the employees. There's a lot of endpoints, and I think like when you prepare everything, that's something easy to do in the end. But if you need to do it manually or like assemble data from all those different sources, then
you fall into another nightmare, which always consume another month or two of your life.
Yeah. Exactly, and still everybody expects it will be in place, right? So I think these are challenges of a competent departments as I can see them. Very stressful sometimes, and especially this time of the year. And then what are the other challenges in Comp and Ben related to like wrongly prepared or messy systems if they're not good enough?
I think, yeah, on the other hand, you have always people. Yeah, so you can have well-prepared data in the systems, but also you have managers. Yeah, so they need to be aware how it works, what is expected from them, why the setup looks like this. Yeah, what should be the product of this process, and the product should be a suitable remuneration package, which is adjusted to the market and which is internally consistent.
Yeah, and according to
yes,
to like the budget, to company policy, to the agreement, to the plan that you had upfront.
And of course, employees should understand this as well, because one impact on the shape of the other one, right?
Mm-hmm. So in the end, we're talking about sometimes hundreds or thousands of people that are affected by those systems and by end product of it. So yeah, and it all has to be prepared well and on time and
of course, hate unexpected changes as well. So this is not only a bad idea to make a change or significant change or implementation just before the process, but also this is stressful not only for Comp and Ben but also for people, because they feel that nobody has control on that and no one knows what to expect.
Okay. So how to make it a success in the end? Like if we could summarize in a few points, like what we could do or what Comp and Ben could do to set themselves up for success in this round that already started, but also in the next round.
So planning as a first. In Comp and Ben, there is no space for the things which are not well planned and prepared upfront, I think. Mm-hmm. The other thing is...
don't you have this feeling, like working with Comp and Ben, that people very much focus on now? Like, hey, now I have this comp round going on, I need to survive, and probably means a lot of stress and long nights for me. And then, so I'm not thinking ahead of the future. I will do it in April, and then April comes, and it's like people go on vacation.
Situation, and I think no one can stand it for long. Yeah, people are burned out a bit if they are expected to deliver good results, but they don't have good tools and processes to do that, right? So people get frustrated, people are burned out, and they are leaving. I don't believe that someone can stand such amount of stress every year and expect every year the same. It needs to be improved.
And think and understand this and have this awareness that next year probably things will look the same. So there'll be stress again. The things will.
Yes, not very nice perspective, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but I think that's something we mentioned in the last episode, that Kanban and Kanban systems are not very much exposed in the company as a tools necessary for making like impact on the company. So they're typically underinvested, or they're not as exposed as other people, as other processes that are actually used to generate revenue, because it's often seen as something like a backstage or like a internal process that's not that important. But then still it produces. It has to be done. If it's done wrong, then things go wrong. People might leave the company. They're not happy, and people are everything in the company. So
yes, it's quite urgent to implement good systems. Yes, it's already hard to find someone to manage Kanban function, I think, at least in Poland.
Because people don't expect. I think do you actually have like Kanban universities?
Like one or two, but this is postgraduate. Yes, so it has been noticed that there is a need on the market
okay.
Yeah, to educate such people. But in general, I think people who are in Kanban now are learned on the job. Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's like this notion on when I grow up, I want to be a Kanban. It doesn't exist. People don't know. I don't think people know about this job and function until they actually learn as they go, I would say.
Until they deep dive in HR. Yeah.
And I think, HR is typically seen as soft skills and talking to people and making sure everybody's happy, but in a let's call it by talking, right, or by a soft skills way. And here in Kanban, you have the mixture. You also have like hard mathematical analysis. Things have to match financially, depending on the process. Like the more you go towards bonuses or payout curves or like sales or compensating for sales, then the more you have like mathematical formulas and the more analysis you have to put there. And I think people, when you think HR, people are not prepared for this, to have so much mathematics, reporting, simulations, analysis. You need to know what's median, what's average, things like this. That can be scary for average person.
Yes, and I think it is. That's why HR is not a natural choice for
mathematicians.
Yeah, for people. Yes, exactly. For such people, and the other way around. I think Kanban is not a natural choice for people in HR.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a separate department, really.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation, and when you are there, I think so. You can expect that you will be the only one, or maybe but the team will be small for sure. Yeah, and always a lot of things to do. So good systems are a key, and I think it's better now understanding for this need of system support for Kanban is better than a few years ago, but still, I think this is a lot to do here.
Okay. So if we could summarize, what we could advise or what could we do to achieve like a success in setting up like a good compound for the future, and also for if you happen to start one, which already happened, and how to survive it. So I think we said that adopting this product owner, product manager ownership mindset is important. because then you have, then you see your systems, your Kanban processes as a whole, like as an end product that you need to deliver, and then you have a chance of thinking strategically, not thinking tactically right now, but what will happen in the future, and you have this chance of improving things in the coming years. So you don't have that much stress, and you don't need to quit your job after March, which is also good, I think. I think it's a bit of a change of mindset. And also, I think we said about managing expectations of managers, of the end users.
Yes, and education as well. They need to understand the approach, the processes, the deliverables of Kanban, because this function is not clearly visible in the company. So they know that they want to give a pay rise, but what does it mean from the perspective of the company?
And you have so many perspectives, right? You have a perspective of an employee.
Is another thing, the second thing, very important. And this long-term planning as well, it would be the third. Yeah, so this is the way how we manage things in Kanban. I think long-term and well planned and
managed expectations.
Yes.
Because you have so many perspectives in the company. You have the employee, you have the legal, the managers, the legal, the financial, the board, the executives, and everybody wants something different. So it's hard to manage everyone at once. So you need to manage expectations. Okay, good. Thanks, Magda. I think it was, again, great to talk to you. Unless you would like to add any advices at the end.
Oh, no, I think we already talked a lot. So thank you very much for having me.
I think we can wish everyone having a good compound this year and not so much stress, and survive it with a good results.
Exactly. Yes.
Thanks, Magda.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.